Listen, when I tell you Jehovah don't play by me, it's like Jehovah never, oh, excuse me, I just ate. Jehovah never ceases to amaze me. It's like, it's unbelievable. The things that Jehovah's mind is so freaking wonderful. It's like, I was reading a scripture and practical scriptural daily living. When you're going through something, when people attack you. It was a really great meeting today at the Kingdom Hall, and basically, it's about there's something that people need to understand, those who are Christians and those who are really true worshipers of God. You will be persecuted, you know what I'm saying? And the lesson today at the hall, I really, really, really loved the lesson. And it's for anybody that's enduring any kind of persecution. People have been persecuted for serving God from years and eons ago. You had the Nazis, they persecuted the Jews. And I didn't even know the Nazis didn't just encamp and persecute the Jews. They persecuted Jehovah's Witnesses too. Because I'm a Jehovah's Witness. And I was reading in, on jw.org, our website, how the Jehovah's Witnesses, it was like 3,000 that was in encampment. Unfortunately, some died, and then the next year after, 1,000 was released from prison because of persecution. Satan, he basically wants worship, and he wants, the whole world to worship him. And if you do not do that, either directly or indirectly, he don't care. Satan is a side piece. Satan is a side chick. Satan is let me tell you something. Satan is the original side chick. Okay, let me tell you how Satan is a side chick. Satan is a side piece and is he is the king, and he is the father of all side chicks. Any side chick you can ever think of, they pattern after him, because Satan doesn't care if you serve God publicly and throw up his symbolisms with your hand, or if you serve him privately. If as long as your worship is like not pure or complete, as long as you're going against Jehovah, whether it's basically just serving God, like going to the Kingdom Hall in public, and you serve Satan in private in your home. You read in the Bible in public, and you preaching in public, but you got crystals and you got magic stuff at the house, like things that Jehovah doesn't like and agree with. Satan doesn't care to be a side piece. Satan is shameless. You know what I'm saying? So when you see his people, they're just like him. They have no morals. They have no class. They're shameless. They are literally garbage. It's like you got to be real filthy and low to accept being, a secret. And so Satan, he is the beginning. The people who worship him, they're all side pieces. They all live that life. And literally, like, no, in a literal sense, Satan is the king, the mother, the father, whatever you want to call it, of the side chicks. He is the originator of the side piece, because he don't care if you love him publicly. He doesn't care about that. You can be in the church or in the hall and say, I love God. But in private, if you're fornicating, if you're doing things God doesn't like, that's enough for him. He's a very low budget. Satan is very low budget. Satan is very low in morals and standards. He's very dirty and filthy, and he's manure. He's very uncouth. He's evil. He's a murderer. He's very, very low in standard. Satan doesn't have standards. Satan doesn't have self-respect. You know what I'm saying? It's like anything. It's like he's a pig. It's like a pig, goes through all types of garbage. Don't care what they put in their mouth. They just put it in their mouth and eat it. That's how Satan is. Satan is really filthy. Like, Satan represents, like, when you see a dirty street, that's Satan. So Satan is the father, and he is the beginning and the originator of side pieces. He's okay with being a secret. So if you're not willing to serve him directly out in public, because there are open Satanist churches out there, if you're the type to serve him in secret, but in public you're worshiping Jehovah, you know what I'm saying? He's okay with that, as long as you are displeasing Jehovah, because Jehovah does not like, fake worship. He does not like anybody who's worshiping him with an incomplete heart. He doesn't like that. Everybody who is a real worshiper of Jehovah, although imperfect, we know that Jehovah does not accept double-hearted, divided-hearted worship. You know what I'm saying? It has to be complete, meaning you only have one God. If you decide to have Satan as your second God on the low, he don't care about that. He's a side piece. Satan is the originator of all side pieces, and it's he's a secret. It's people out here who don't care. They don't care to be secrets. They don't care to be side pieces. They don't care if they don't see the light of day. They don't care. They're just like Satan, their father. They're just like who they worship. They're just like him. They have no morals. They don't care. It's like, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'll accept breadcrumbs. I'll accept garbage. I'll accept manure. I'll accept disrespect. I don't mind being in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Publicly you can serve Jehovah, and then privately, just go ahead and throw up my symbolisms and do things in private. It's like, what? What? That's embarrassing. Like, you're a side piece, Satan. And all his worshipers, that's embarrassing. You should want to be out in public. Like when I serve Jehovah, and everything about Jehovah, like if it ain't Jehovah, like it's like in my life I've made mistakes and I've done things that really meant nothing to me. And so it's like you're a side piece. Like, it's like you're not important. You're irrelevant. You were always irrelevant. Always. You never mattered. You know what I'm saying? It's like if it's not Jehovah for me, I agree with Jehovah, his sovereignty, the way he does things. I definitely, am a Jehovah's Witness. That's who I am in public and private. But I have made mistakes in my life where, in my past, I've done things that Jehovah didn't like. And that was like side piece activity. Like, okay, Jehovah's my God. That's who I love. I want to marry a man. I want to be, I want to have a husband. It's like, bro, publicly and privately, it's Jehovah. My social media is jw.org. You know exactly who I am. I don't hide that. Jehovah is my pride and joy. I'm proud of him. He's the best God in the world. I love him to death. I made mistakes in my past. Like when I was, just being young and stupid, we do things and that Jehovah doesn't like. And because we're sinners, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is that when you really love somebody, you change and you don't repeat the same mistake. And that's what I've done. Like in my past, I've done things like when I was like, 19, like I've done things where I've displeased Jehovah and I hurt his feelings. But it's like, it's a very fine line. Like, even if I've done things, it's very clear who I'm dedicated to, who I'm devoted to, who I love and who I worship. It's very clear who my God is and whose way I choose and whose side I choose. It's very clear who I'm loyal to. And it's like, that's why Satan is so upset and angry when you are serving Jehovah and, you may be imperfect. We are imperfect, actually, and you make mistakes. I don't know what Satan thinks. I think Satan really thinks that people who love Jehovah, we're just going to leave Jehovah. Like, you got people that really don't love Jehovah and they love the world. They want to be on that side. That's cool. But there are people who genuinely love Jehovah, and we're just not perfect people. We make mistakes. But my thing is, if you're a mistake, stay in a mistake's place. Stay in the side piece's place. Stay in a mistake's place. You're nobody. You're irrelevant. You're very irrelevant. You never made anything, ever, and never will. And that's what Satan hates. Like, he's okay with being the side piece. He's okay with being the secret. He's okay with that. And it's like, for me, I know I love Jehovah so much. When you love somebody, you don't treat them like a side piece. When you love somebody, you publicly display who you love. And I publicly am always repping Jehovah, and I'm always letting it be very clear and very known who I love and who I rep. So of course I'm not going to ever secretly be doing anything. If I did anything by mistake in the past, baby, I'm not repeating those mistakes, because a mistake is a mistake. A mistake is something that should have never happened. It's something that's irrelevant. It's something that's very irrelevant. It's something that does not pertain to your real life, and you move on from it. But Satan's the type of person, when you want to worship Jehovah with your whole heart, and when you want to be a Christian, and when you want to do what's right, and it's kind of like a marriage. Like, you're married to Jehovah, you are unfaithful, or you cheat, or you do something that Jehovah doesn't like. Jehovah, he doesn't like it. You make it right. You fix your marriage. You move forward. But you got the side piece, Satan, who's stringing along, begging and forcing himself upon you, trying to trying to get in between that relationship. And me and Jehovah's relationship is solid. It will never be broken. It's like I will never accept Satan as a side piece. I will never accept Satan as my secret, how others do. Jehovah is the public and the secret. He's the public and the private. He's everything to me. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Jehovah is not worried about mistakes that we've made. If we repent and we don't repeat the same mistake, Jehovah's okay. He's fine, because he knows that we are imperfect people. Nobody's perfect. Everyone's gonna, mess up sometime. Jehovah is aware. And so with that being said, that awareness, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that Jehovah accepts me fully as his worshiper and as his daughter and as his servant, and forgives my errors of my youth, and I get to move on with my life and serve him, is a beautiful thing. But you got to understand, people, like I said, going back to my point, when you want to serve Jehovah and when you want to be wholehearted in devotion, you're going to have a side piece. You're going to have somebody. Satan's delusional. He's a delusional side piece. He's not even a delusional. Satan is so irrelevant. He's not even a side piece. Satan is willing to be the side piece. But if you don't want to serve him directly, make him your God, or even if he settles for being the side piece, like Jehovah comes first in the public and then you like in the dark, like crystals in the dark. If you won't let him be that, like serve him directly or indirectly, he will persecute you. And so, Jesus said it. No slave is above his master. Like, you got to have self-respect. Like, Satan has to understand, you know what I'm saying? You could never be my side piece. You're very irrelevant. You never meant anything to me. You're garbage, manure. Like, nobody cares about you. And it's the thing, you can give all the signs. You can give all the signs. You can go to the Kingdom Hall. You can study the Bible all day. You can show clear evidence you're irrelevant. And Satan will still be on you because he's desperate. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, he is the father of all side chicks and Delulu people. People who are delusional, like people who are side pieces, delusional. Like, he is the beginning of that. You know what I'm saying? Like everything bad, Satan is the father of it. I can't even imagine being rejected for like years on years, or, bothering people that don't want to be bothered with me. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I only bother with people who want to be bothered with me. And Jehovah loves me and I love him. That's a solid relationship. I'm not delusional. I'm in a real relationship with Jehovah, and I plan to get married to a man, and the man that he gifts me with, I'm going to love him and have kids, and I plan to live my life as a Jehovah's Witness forever. That's the course of life I've chosen for myself. I chose the best thing for me. But Satan, when you choose Jehovah, he's going to persecute. He's going to do you how the Jews did the Nazis. I'm sorry, the Nazis did the Jews. He's going to do you how he does Jehovah's Witnesses. The people who want to worship God, who don't accept, Satan as even a side piece. The breadcrumb, he'll take breadcrumbs. If you don't want to give him that, he's going to persecute you. So, it says, it says in John, okay, Jesus said, keep in mind the word I said to you, a slave is not greater than his master. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have observed my word, they will also observe yours. So Jesus, being the head of the congregation that Jehovah appointed, and him being the king of Jehovah's kingdom that was established in 1914, October, he basically let us know in advance, like, if they persecuted me, which they did persecute Jesus for loving Jehovah, they're going to persecute you. So for me, the lesson today at the meeting was, when you're persecuted, it's not a sign or an expression of disapproval from Jehovah, when you're persecuted, that's an expression of Satan's anger. Satan's mad you won't let him be your side piece. Satan's mad you're committed to Jehovah and devoted to him. Satan's mad because you won't give him breadcrumbs. You give him, I give dust. Satan's mad that you give him dust. That's pretty much what it is. It's like people get it confused, and that led me to Job. When you're going through something, I would say anybody who's going through persecution, when you are going through hard times, just remember that don't lose focus of what's going on. What's going on is Jehovah's not punishing you. Jehovah's not, he doesn't disapprove of you. The disapproval, it comes from Satan. Jehovah, the persecution, once again, is not a sign of disapproval. It's a sign of Satan's anger, because he was getting the disciples beaten and thrown in prisons back in the first century. Apostle Paul experienced numerous beatings. He's been thrown in prison numerous times. He experienced deep cuts on his back from getting beat, at the courts, being unjustly brought before the courts. Why? Because he committed no crime, but Satan was behind those attacks because Paul was a worshiper of Jehovah, spreading Jehovah's good news. And Satan he wants to be a rival God. He doesn't compare. He doesn't match at all to Jehovah, but he wants to be a rival God so bad. If you choose Jehovah, he's going to attack you, and he's going to use his little minions, his little baby side pieces, and his little, dirty, his dirt bags on earth. He's going to use his agents. He's going to use the government. He's going to use the dirt bags that he has worshiping him on earth, either privately or publicly, either directly worshiping him or in private or in secret. He's going to have his agents. He's going to use, the political system. He's going to use, your own family against you. He's going to use everything against you because he hates the fact that you love Jehovah. He hates the fact that he's a reject. That's what Satan is mad at. Satan is a reject. He's a reject. And when you reject Satan, he gets upset and he gets mad because he feels like you should be worshiping me and you should be, obedient to me. And it's like, are you dumb? That's what I'm saying. Satan is the father of everybody delusional, and all side pieces in the world, they all worship him because they're just like him, delusional. They're delusional. They want things they can't have. And it's like, my worship is not up for sale, and I'll die behind my relationship with Jehovah. There are people in the Bible that have died faithful. They've been killed because of serving Jehovah, and I'm one of those people. I'm willing to die behind my faith. And it's like Satan will never have me in any kind of way. I just don't roll like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't settle for less. Jehovah's the best. Why would I ever settle for dirt when I have a whole God in the sky that created heaven and earth that gives me the best? Who the hell? What? You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, it's embarrassing. It's like, bro, you just want to be in the dark. Like, he's okay. Like I said, Satan is a side. He doesn't care. He does not care. He don't care if you do it public. He don't care if you keep him in the dark. As long as you are messing with him, he's okay. And it's like, if you don't mess with him and if you're really worshiping Jehovah how you're supposed to, you will be the object of hatred. And when people hate you, it's a good thing. You're supposed to be happy and be like, it doesn't feel good, because when you're being attacked, it doesn't feel good. But when you remember why you're being attacked, when you remember it's because Satan is upset that, he's a reject before you and you chose Jehovah over him, and Jehovah actually is proud of you and all the angels are cheering you on and rooting you on, and Jehovah is proud of your faithfulness. He's rooting you on and he approves of you. When you remember those facts, it's like, okay, Jehovah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get the hate. They're mad. You're the winner. You're the love of my life. They're irrelevant. They're mad. They're upset. They're trying to, ruin, and they're trying to destroy your precious, gems like myself, because I simply don't fool with them like that. You know what I'm saying? I won't even let them. You're not even good enough to be a side piece. I wouldn't even side piece you if I could. It's like, that's why when you are a human being and you make mistakes, that's why they're called mistakes, because in the moment you just be doing stuff and you don't even be knowing what you be doing. You just be doing stuff. And it's like, why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're looking back, you're like, that person is Satan, that's very irrelevant. Why would you do that? But you learn from it and you move on. But it's like Satan is the bitter. He's the bitter, like he's the bitter Betty. Like he's the bitter side piece. It's like Jehovah's the entree, the meal, the one that you publicly go out and preach about, the one that you go to the hall for, the one that you sing and praise and shout loud, I love Jehovah. And in private, it's the same thing. You know, Satan's just looking like a bitter side piece, a bitter reject, just like, oh, she loves Jehovah, I'm upset. Like, you know, that's how he is. But anywho, that's that. So it's like, and also know, if you were part of the world will be fond of what is its own. Now, because you are no part of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, for this reason, the world hates you. Remember why the world hates you. It's not you. They hate you because you're not like them. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Like we are not them. They are on the other team. They're on the other side. If you were like them, if you were into the things they were into, if you were that, they would like you. But because you're different, and because Jehovah chose you, and because God chose you out of this disgusting world we live in as a precious gem, you know, as an obedient servant to him, the world hates you. So it's like when people are being persecuted, sometimes you can feel like, well, what's wrong with me? Or someone can feel like, why am I going through this? And it's like, well, it's because you're precious, you're special, you're different. You know what I'm saying? In a world full of people that are clones, who are followers, who are puppets, you chose to be different. You chose a different course in life. And when you in school, even when kids are in school and are different, they're bullied. It's the same thing. Satan is going to bully you and persecute you and even try to kill you if you say no to him. And it's like, bro, that's salt I cannot explain. Satan is more salty than any beach of sand that Jehovah has ever created. Like, Satan is salt. When Jehovah created salt, it was Satan. I really feel like Jehovah, the only mistake that Jehovah could have ever made, because Jehovah makes no mistakes, I feel like Jehovah, the only thing that he probably mistook him for was an angel, because really he's salt. He is a salt. He's a condiment, because there is no way, like the level of sore loser and salt Satan has within him, it's hilarious. And I just couldn't stop laughing today, because it's like the way Jehovah flips things for his servants. Like you could be sad, and then it's like Jehovah just shows you, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? He'll show you like, okay, you were sad, but I'm with you. And then he flips and turns the tables on people, and it's like you realize, man, my God is very powerful. So whatever you're going through, keep enduring, keep fighting. Understand that Jehovah's never going to abandon you. If you don't abandon him, and if you prove faithful and loyal, even under persecution, he's going to help you get through it, because he's been helping me. You know what I'm saying? So this is for anybody that's enduring hate or persecution for their faith, for rejecting, for saying no to being the majority. You want to be different. You know, it's okay to be that. Continue to be that. And even if you got to die behind it, you died for something solid. So, you know, that's pretty much the lesson. And never, ever underestimate, finally, last but not least, never underestimate the power of Jehovah, how he can flip things around in a minute. Like, you could be sad at 12:01, and at 12:02, before 12:02 even hits, Jehovah shows you, no, baby, pick up your face. I'm God. Let me show you something real quick. That's what he did for me tonight. Jehovah don't play no games. When Jehovah says, I'm going to move, he's going to move. The thing that people don't understand is that when Satan does things, and the way that he has the world, all the suffering he causes, it's only because Jehovah allows it. He allows it for a good reason. He allows it. You know what I'm saying? When we suffer, Jehovah is not the cause. He allows it to a certain extent. But when Jehovah says, no, this is not going down, you cannot do this. You can do this, but not this. He's in control. At the end of the day, you only can do what Jehovah allows you to do. That's what the puppets don't understand. You can only do what Jehovah allows you to do. It's like, how could you feel powerful about power that you're allowed? You don't have any real power, because if you had power, whether Jehovah says yes or no, you would be able to move. But when Jehovah says no, you can't move. When Jehovah allows you to move, you move. But when Jehovah puts the roadblock, you cannot move. That means you're weak. You are not a God, because God has no limits, no boundaries. Can't nobody play with Jehovah. Can't nobody stop him. from doing what he wants to do. But he can stop. Satan can't stop Jehovah. If Jehovah says, okay, cool, you can do that. Like Apostle Paul, for example, he was thrown in prison. Okay, you can put him in prison. I'll let you put him in for like 3 days. That's what Jehovah said. But if you feel like, oh, I'm gonna, keep Apostle Paul in prison for 2 months. No, I said 3 days. Meaning I'm God. I let you do this to him for a reason. But what I say goes. So on the 3rd day, he will be released. And so Paul is released. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just an example. Or even better example is Apostle Peter. Apostle Peter, he was in prison, and it was for no reason, of course, persecuting him for being a Christian. And when he was in prison, the guards, they had the best guards like lined up so that he won't be able to get out. And Jehovah just basically sent an angel and had Peter released from prison. Like the angel walked and told Peter, get dressed. Peter thought he was dreaming. That's how amazing Jehovah is. Peter thought in front of the guards. Peter is in front of like 2 guards. How you have 2 guards in front of you? How are you a guard and you don't see Peter getting dressed to be released from prison? The guards literally had no idea. The angel bypassed those guards, told Peter to get dressed. Peter got dressed, and he was walked out of prison. And then when he walked out of the gates opened by themselves. Jehovah, of course, commanded the gates to open. The gates opened by themselves, and Peter was able to walk out the sidewalk. And he walked, and he didn't hide. He wasn't hiding to try to escape from the guards. He walked right past the guards. So it's like Jehovah delivered Peter in the guard's face. There is nothing you can do to stop Jehovah. Like if Jehovah says, okay, I allowed you to put him in prison. Now I want him to be released. You got other plans. Your plans don't matter because you're not God. Jehovah, what he says goes. So he allowed you to put Peter in prison, but you cannot go further than what Jehovah allows, because when Jehovah said, I want him to be released, the guards were standing right in front of the gates, and Peter walked right past it. And who was going to stop him? Who was going to stop him? The guards stood there, did not even see the angel or Peter walking by, and Peter was out of prison just like that. And I think the next morning, the guards were not aware that Peter had, got out of prison in their face, because Jehovah's angel did that. And Jehovah just blinded them, just made them not see it. And he walked out of prison and he was out a free man. So it's just like everything. He's in control. Even when Jehovah's enemies think that Jehovah is not in control, Jehovah is in full control. You see how he controlled that situation? He said if Jehovah did not want Peter to go to prison, they wouldn't be able to take him. But Jehovah allowed him to go. He allowed him to go, and they were planning to kill Peter. Jehovah said, no, I'm not going to let you kill him. What did Jehovah do? Jehovah had the guards stand right there, and Peter got dressed. The angel told him to get dressed. Peter got dressed and walked right past the guards. He didn't hide. He didn't go through a bush. He walked right past them, and he was released from prison. Why? Because Jehovah God said he's not to be killed. So these enemies of Jehovah, Satan, when he's doing things, they think they imagine delusional. They imagine they're powerful. And it's like, dummy, this is chess. You're playing games that you've already lost to. Jehovah already has the plan mapped out. He already has the fate sealed. He already has the judgment ready. He just hasn't executed it yet. Like, this is the thing that the delusional people don't understand. Like, everything you do, you may feel good about it, but it's like, bro, whatever evil you're able to do is because Jehovah allowed it. But whatever Jehovah does not allow, clearly you cannot do. You can't. You know what I'm saying? And when Jehovah puts his foot down and says, okay, it's time. Enough is enough. Like, okay, this has gone on for X amount of time. It's time. I'm ready. Jehovah's going to move. And it's like, then what? Now everybody going to be looking stupid. It's like, all I got to say is, if you're under persecution for your faith, keep enduring. because Jehovah has a very, very beautiful way of vindicating his servants and humiliating his enemies. One thing about Jehovah, he will embarrass you. He embarrasses Satan daily. It's like, you know. And so with that, I'll leave with this. Job 42. Never underestimate Jehovah. When under trial, always know who Jehovah is. Always remember that you are serving the true God. That there is no Satan or nobody that can hold you down if Jehovah is by your side. No matter what you suffer, you will come out on top. In the end, everybody loses to Jehovah. And that's the thing. And when people rebel against the rebels, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they only care until their households, their livelihoods, their health. When those things, when Jehovah comes for those things, and when he starts attacking how you attack his servants, when he starts attacking, and when he starts putting his hand and, you know, starts to really like shake you up, that's when people care. Because people don't ever think that Jehovah will hold them accountable. But no, that's not how the world works. That's not how the game works. People play games, but they don't consider how the game will end. You're playing the game, but do you know how the game will end? You're playing a game, but do you know how the game will end? I know how it's going to end, but do you? Exactly. So now I know that you are able to do all things, and that nothing you have in mind to do is impossible for you. You said, so yeah, exactly. Jehovah's able to do all things, and nothing he has in mind to do is impossible. So whatever it is that Jehovah has in mind to do, it don't matter how invincible someone may seem. That's the very person Jehovah shows you. Who are they to me? I will bring them down to nothing, embarrass them, humiliate them. I will take them down to levels that you could never have even imagined. And that's exactly what he's going to do. And that's what he does to his enemies and people who rebel against him. Because at the end of the day, the people that are fighting against you, they're not fighting against you. Satan's not persecuting you. He's persecuting you through people, but they're not fighting they're not fighting you. They're fighting God. That's who they really fighting. That's who they really have smoke with. They have smoke with Jehovah. And those are the ones that he humbles. So that's my word, and that's my lesson for today. And that's the scriptural, practical daily living that I can give. Like practically, you know, when you're dealing with persecution and trial, make sure that you never give up your faith. Keep your faith. Remember, there's nothing in mind that Jehovah has, he can't do. And there's nothing impossible for Jehovah. And if you're faithful, he will be faithful and loyal to you. Also remember, when you're suffering persecution, that does not mean disapproval from Jehovah. That's representative and an expression of Satan's anger. He's very angry because you're serving Jehovah with faith and with your whole heart. You're not making Satan a side piece. He's mad because you won't side piece him. He's mad you won't secretly serve him. He's mad you won't publicly serve him. He's mad because you won't give him a part in your life. You rejected him. So that's what Satan is upset about. Remember that. He's a reject. He's upset. He's mad. Okay? He'll even take your breadcrumbs, but you won't give it to him. And he's upset. And so now he's attacking you. You know what I'm saying? That's what a reject does. When someone's rejected, they start talking crazy about you and start talking mess about you, and they start attacking you. That's Satan. Remember, you're not the problem. He is, and all of the people who support him. So that's the scriptural, insight for the night. And yeah. That's a good one. Satan is the originator of all side pieces. I'm telling you, he's the original side piece. Satan is the original side piece. He don't care whether he's in the dark or the light. If you don't want to give him no parts of your life, if you don't want to even give him like a settlement, he's gonna attack you. And it's like, I'm gonna be attacked, forever then, because baby, you're rejected, period. And it's like like I said, Satan is he's the delusional side piece, or the delusional reject that keeps pursuing after somebody that doesn't want them. And it's the same thing, like you rejected a guy or a girl and they keep pursuing you and they keep bothering you, and it's like, move on with your life, but they won't. That's how Satan is. You know what I'm saying? He's that delusional reject. Like, he can't take rejection. But keep rejecting him and just keep depending on Jehovah to help you through the attacks. And then eventually you will come out on top, and Jehovah will handle all your enemies and disgrace them. And I definitely know that personally. It's a movie for me coming up, and I can't wait. And I'm not even I'm not the star of the movie. I'm just, I'm just the person that's going to be watching. But the star of the movie, yeah, it's going to be cinematic. It's going to be, in theaters for all to see. Just shame. And it's like,